大家好，我是 Oliver Van. So over the last 15 years, we've experienced an increase in diabetes and insulin resistance in this country. And that's partly because we've had higher blood glucose levels. And this is the reason why we've been inundated with all the low-carb diet advice. A continuous glucose monitor, or a CGM for short, is a much more useful tool for tracking your blood sugar level than a fasting glucose level test. Why? Well, it's because a CGM can actually track how your body disposes of glucose in real time. Fasting blood glucose is an estimation based on the number of red blood cells that's been glycated. There is room for error though. Fasting blood glucose levels also does not show trends because it is only a snapshot in time. On the other hand, CGM allows you to see how each food affects your blood sugar level instantaneously. Why do we want to monitor our blood sugar levels? Well, as I mentioned in my earlier videos on sugar, insulin is the key for chronic lifestyle diseases like cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes. A lot of studies now show that all-cause mortality, especially cardiovascular mortality, increases the higher your HbA1c is. So I'm currently wearing a CGM, and that's because I've always wanted to track my blood sugar levels. And if you're also interested in it, here are some tips for you. So the more you minimize glucose variability, the better. Which that means is you don't want a lot of high peaks and low valleys. What you want is something more steady. Number two is you don't want any incidence of high numbers either. So like a high peak number would be 7.77 millimolars per liter. So I just had lunch 2 hours ago, and this screenshot shows me when I actually took the reading 30 minutes after my lunch. So now I'm going to scan again after 2 hours to see what my blood sugar level is. And it shows 6.0. So you can see that right after my rice meal, I had a spike in my glucose level. And now it's slowly coming back down. This is because all the glucose that's in my bloodstream is now being transported to all the muscles and liver for it to be converted into glycogen. So I want to highlight now that exercise is always a very good way of disposing glucose from your bloodstream. So I did an experiment on myself a couple days ago. I had a very similar meal. This time I worked out. I did weight training before dinner. And then you can actually see here in the screenshot that my blood sugar level is quite low. After a similar meal where I had white rice, I even had orange and even a bag of chips, I tested my blood sugar level again 30 minutes after, and it was still low. The reason is that after exercise, you've used up all the glucose that's in your muscles. And so there's a huge void now that's going to be filled up. So all that sugar that you've eaten will now go immediately into the muscle cells, freeing up your bloodstream from a high blood sugar level. So if you don't have type 1 diabetes or any other diseases, then as a general rule, the lower your blood sugar levels is, the better. So final disclaimer, guys, I am not a doctor, so please do seek a medical professional if you have any abnormal symptoms or if you have any diseases or even any eating disorders. Otherwise, thank you very much. I hope you found this useful. As always, please leave any questions or comments below, and I'll see you next time.